We generally define love as a private human invention, an emotional state contained entirely within the mind and reserved for our own species. This perspective creates a mental border, isolating humanity from the rest of the natural world and treating our deepest feelings as biological anomalies. When we look at the stars or the deep wilderness through this lens, we see a cold, mechanical system governed by unfeeling physics, and nothing but the singular drive to survive. The Tamil poetry of Paul Andromeda suggests this isolation is a misunderstanding. These verses propose that humans did not invent the concept of affection, but rather emerged from a universe already defined by it. It raises a possibility that our current definition of love is simply too narrow to account for how the universe is actually put together. By claiming love as a human monopoly, we ignore the structural warmth of the systems around us, leaving us feeling alone in a connected world. Evidence of this connection is visible in Earth's basic atmospheric cycles, starting with the constant movement of water. While we call this a weather pattern, it functions as a system of active sustenance. Clouds gather and release rain, descending gracefully to provide the specific hydration necessary for forests and fields to persist. Flora follows this same logic of mutual support. A blossom opens to provide nectar to a bee, which in turn ensures the plant's future, a biological trait that mirrors the way we care for those we depend on. This behavior is not exclusive to humans or plants. The animal kingdom has utilized conscious companionship as a survival strategy for millions of years. We see it in swans that pair for life, and birds that labor together to build a single nest. These are physical expressions of commitment that predate our own history. The biosphere is built on these exchanges. Biological life requires these localized acts of care to maintain its equilibrium. If the planet operates on this principle of attraction and support, we can look further to see if these same rules apply to the vacuum of space. This diagram illustrates cosmic attraction. In the language of physics, gravity acts as the macro-level version of the same impulse that draws biological life together, an inherent force that demands proximity over isolation. This invisible pull forces cosmic dust and dark nebulae to converge. The resulting pressure and energy transfer are what allow a star to be born. This same force scales up to hold billions of stars in a unified structure. Without this constant gravitational tethering, galaxies would simply dissolve into the void. The scale of deep space is massive, yet its stability depends on these intimate, inward-pulling forces. The observable universe behaves as an interconnected system, sustained by this constant physical requirement for connection. From microscopic ecosystems to galactic clusters, reality is held together by this unifying energy. Returning to the human experience, we can now see our own interactions in a wider context. When we see children playing or an elderly couple holding hands, we are observing more than a private moment. Human affection is our specific way of participating in a universal cycle of connection that existed long before us. The poetry suggests that because this energy flows through rivers, animals, and stars alike, the isolation we often feel is a physical impossibility. This luminous web illustrates how the forces governing planetary orbits are active within our lives, linking the planet to the stars. Love is a property of the universe itself, and as a part of that universe, you are an expression of that force.